Hello all and welcome back. In today's episode, we're going to be exploring a supplement protocol for colds, flus, and COVID. I would just like to state that before making any changes to your diet or supplement routine, to please consult a healthcare professional and or your doctor. If you are taking any medication or are on any medication, please do not make any changes to taking your medication whatsoever. The information on this video is simply for educational purposes and is not and should not be substituted as medical advice. Now, throughout this episode, I will be referring to my notes a lot as I am reading several randomized controlled trials, and I want to make sure that I'm getting the mechanisms correct and the trials correct and not confusing them, having read them many times over. I hope this isn't too complicated, and I hope I've broken it down enough. If you have any questions or queries, please do leave them in the comments and I will try my best to answer them. So many people are coming to me saying that they've caught some kind of a flu or COVID, and it is that time of year where virulence for these airborne viruses are very high. So my aim of this video is to try and provide you with some supplemental tools that may help prophylactically or help shorten the duration of a cold, flu or COVID or lessen the symptoms. So the first supplement I'm going to be touching upon is by far the most key one out of the lot, and that is vitamin D. Now, I have touched upon vitamin D previously. Now, vitamin D is not just a vitamin or a supplement. It is a steroid hormone that regulates at least 5% of the human encoded genome. Now, it's known to enhance innate immunity, it has antiviral properties, helps disrupt viral envelopes, and it also helps with the secretion of immune peptides. So there was a meta-analysis conducted of various randomized controlled trials that showed that vitamin D had a prophylactic effect against influenza. So it means it helped stop incidences, reduce instances of influenza or flu. Overall, it suggested that strategies for preventing influenza can be optimized by vitamin D supplementation. Vitamin D is prophylactic. Various studies also show that those with low levels of vitamin D were more likely to end up hospitalized with COVID-19 than those who had sufficient levels. Now, I have to say, I would be really interested to know what a trial would show if vitamin D was combined with K2 and magnesium. Now, as we spoke in the first vitamin D episode, K2 helps with the absorption of vitamin D and sends calcium to the right places, and the magnesium helps activate the vitamin D. So I would be really curious to see what a trial results would show if they actually helped vitamin D function to the best of its ability. So moving on to dosage, I would say prophylactically between 1,000 international units and 4,000 international units. Now, 4,000 international units has been set as the upper limit. You should always have a blood test done, check where your levels are, and discuss with your doctor. But those doses are a great way to start prophylactically taking vitamin D. So timing wise, again, I would say all year round really. Again, have your levels checked and measured. Maybe you do need less in the summer if you're getting lots and lots of sunlight. There are obviously precautions that should be taken there as well, but definitely in the winter months when there's much less sunlight, definitely be taking prophylactic vitamin D. Now, just to mention, you should definitely take vitamin D and or indeed all supplements with a fatty meal. Vitamin D is a fat soluble supplement and should definitely be taken with fat. And remember, for better absorption, combine it with magnesium and vitamin K2. So to summarize vitamin D is a steroid hormone involved in regulating immune function and gene expression. It enhances the body's innate immune response and may help defend against respiratory viruses. Studies suggest that it can reduce the risk of cold, flus, and COVID, especially in those who are deficient. Okay, so moving on to zinc. So zinc is an essential trace mineral that your body requires to carry out the majority of its functions. So when it comes to zinc's immune properties against viral pathogens, zinc is essential for the activity of T cells, natural killer cells, and neutrophils, and these are the most phagocytic cells, meaning they help engulf pathogens, which are all vital to the immune response and for responding to viral infections. Zinc also inhibits viral RNA-dependent RNA polymerases. So when intracellular concentrations of zinc is high, zinc can directly interfere with the viral replicase system of RNA viruses. So this reduces the viral RNA synthesis and prevents replication. So viruses don't really want to kill people, they want to spread and mutate. Why? It's not certain. So the key aim of viruses is to get into your cells and then basically become a photocopying machine and copy and copy and copy and copy and copy and copy and keep spreading. So when we discuss supplements and protocols and even pharmaceutical interventions, it's to try and prevent and stop and interfere that replication process, as that way you stop the virus pretty much dead in its tracks. Now, there is a issue and problem with zinc, and a pretty big one. So zinc is not easily transported into cells intracellularly at large amounts in order to inhibit viral replication. So it does need help getting inside the cell and becoming high in concentration intracellularly. So zinc hasn't inherently shown to reduce incidences of cold and flus in trials, but has shown to shorten the duration and severity of them. Now, the reason why I don't think zinc showed a prevention in incidences of colds and flus was because it wasn't combined with an ionophore. So a zinc ionophore is a substance that helps zinc ions cross the cell membrane and enter cells so that they can perform their vital functions, such as boosting the immune system and inhibiting the viral replication. So the reason why I don't think zinc showed prevention in incidences of colds, flus and COVID was because it wasn't paired with an ionophore in these trials. So because zinc has an issue and problem getting into the cell on its own, it does require an ionophore to help carry the charged zinc particles into the cells. This then increases intracellular zinc and thereby enhances the zinc-dependent biological processes. So when it comes to zinc dosing, I personally take 30 milligrams of zinc perchylinate a day, and I do pair this with an ionophore called quercetin, which we're going to move on to in a moment. So between 15 and 30 milligrams of zinc, you can take citrate, you can take perchylinate. I wouldn't take elemental just because it's not as well as absorbed as the other two, but I would definitely suggest either citrate or perchylinate, and I would take that daily just for immune maintenance. For acute use, up to 75 milligrams, particularly of zinc lozenges, it was mentioned in the literature, can be useful with an onset of a cold or flu to help with the onset. So you can take it timing wise just for maintenance, but you can also take it with the onset of a cold or flu. I would also just like to add that maintenance wise, 40 milligrams per day is the upper safety recommended amount. Anything more than that and you may become deficient in copper, as zinc and copper compete for absorption in the body. So to summarize zinc is essential for immune function and plays a direct antiviral role by interfering with viral replication inside cells. It supports key immune cells like T cells and natural killer cells. While zinc may not prevent colds and flus, studies suggest that it can reduce their duration and severity, especially when paired with a zinc ionophore to enhance cellular uptake. Moving on to quercetin. Now, I've briefly just touched upon quercetin. So quercetin is a polyphenolic flavonoid that exhibits broad spectrum antiviral activity through multiple mechanisms. It acts as an antiviral, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and an ionophore. So, as I previously said, quercetin facilitates the intracellular zinc uptake in cells. This then allows zinc to combat viral replication. So what happens is that quercetin binds zinc and forms a complex that can cross the lipid bilayer of the cell membrane. This then effectively increases the intracellular levels of zinc. So quercetin also has very powerful and potent anti-inflammatory. So quercetin can reduce cytokine production, for example, interleukin number 6 or tumor necrosis factor alpha, and inhibits also NF-kappa B. So it's very, very beneficial in respiratory infections, particularly even COVID-19 related cytokine dysregulation. It does also have some antiviral effects on its own. So quercetin has been shown to directly inhibit viral enzymes and interfere with virus entry and replication, particularly in influenza. Rhinoviruses, which is the common cold, and coronaviruses. So zinc plus quercetin equals enhanced intracellular zinc, which leads to the inhibition of viral replication. Okay, that's the mechanism. So think of quercetin that unlocks the door to let zinc into the cell, where zinc that can then actually interfere with the virus. So with respect to quercetin dosaging, long-term studies haven't really been done. There aren't many reports, if any, of toxicity from quercetin or negative symptomology from taking quercetin. Generally, the recommended dosage is 500 milligrams, which I take prophylactically every single day. I also do in the evening take a further, I think it's 150 milligrams of liposomal quercetin, so it enhances the absorption of the quercetin in the evening. But I would say that 500 milligrams is a great prophylactic starting point, and you can probably move up to a gram, so 1,000 milligrams of quercetin during a cold, flu, or when you feel an early onset of a cold, flu, or virus. Make sure you take quercetin with fat, as it is fat soluble, and also make sure to take zinc with it to get the full benefit. So in summary, quercetin is a plant-derived flavonoid with antiviral, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant properties. It also acts as a zinc ionophore, helping transport zinc into cells where it can inhibit viral replication. Research shows that quercetin can help modulate the immune response and reduce inflammation. It can also directly interfere with the life cycle of certain viruses, including influenza and coronaviruses. So vitamin D, zinc, and quercetin are the foundational immune support supplements that I would recommend. They should not be a substitute for a high-quality, bioavailable, nutrient-dense diet, or good sleep, hydration, and exercise regimens. Thank you very much for sticking with me through that video. I hope that was useful to you. I will catch you in the next one, and that was Science Made Simple.